All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a quick update in the documents case coming out of Florida. Judge Aileen Cannon has successfully delayed as in every step of this back and forth with this trial as much as she can, which of course is the number one tactic of the Trump organization's defense and Donald J. Trump himself. That's what he's been doing his entire life, and that is what he continues to do with this. Now, Cannon and Jack Smith went back and forth a number of times because Donald J. Trump and his defense team are trying to get the information about the witnesses in the grand jury testimony, the evidence, and also the names of the jury out into the public sphere, so his MAGA people can start the threatening and everything else like they've done to every single person in every single case. And knowing this, Jack Smith, Mr. 97% success rate prosecution, war crimes prosecutor, saw this coming. So he put, with his filings, Aileen Cannon into a corner. Right now, she has a very, very important decision to make. The Trump team has been trying to get some of the classified documents open, basically as evidence, trying to get a hold of some of the documents. And Jack Smith has had to fight them and say, no, this stuff is still classified. Eileen Haba and his legal team shouldn't be looking at them. He shouldn't have even had them. So no, we're not going to give them back to him. So Jack Smith was putting together a special skiff room where his attorneys would be able to come in and actually follow the protocol of that level of top secret documents that Donald Trump had at his resort, on a stage or next to a toilet. Actually treat that properly in a skiff room, a guarded skiff room. Cannon told him to stop preparing the skiff room and creating the skiff room for this process. So Jack Smith did. Then Aileen Cannon went after him for not doing it. Trump said, well, we would have loved to do it, but he sat on his hands. He wasn't doing it. So that was just the infighting back and forth. But the Trump team filed paperwork, including the information that they wanted out, and that was the names of witnesses, some of the testimony that they were going to give, the names of jurors, and the way he filed it was through the public portal to the court, like as attachments on an email, which makes it a public document. And then he says, see these right here, can we see these? So even if she says no, in his mind, he's still getting them public to his people to threaten whoever the hell needs to be threatened. So Jack Smith has been squashing this. And right now, Cannon has to make an ultimate decision on protecting the jury, protecting the witnesses, protecting the case, or he can actually have her notified, called manifest injustice, that there is a clear error and it's a reversible error that is about to cause manifest injustice, which is basically something no judge wants pointed towards him. Very, very, very bad thing. This decision is going to go back to the 11th Circuit. Now, the 11th Circuit, that's where the appeal goes, where Trump is going to appeal this decision, as he always does. It goes back to the 11th Circuit. That is the group of judges that chastised Cannon when she overrode their decisions before, basically went against their advice, and vetoed some very important steps early on in Trump's case. So she's already set the precedent of her bias in the eyes of these judges that are going to have this case landed in their laps very quickly. So they're playing the delay game, hoping that by kicking it back to this panel, even though they're going to come after Cannon and Trump, it still provides them the delay they hope will take them through the election. So that is the game. That is the end game that they're trying to do here. So Jack Smith has it all lined up. This man has been basically calling her out and forcing her to expose herself every step of the way. So when he does make the final decision and he files what he needs to file, there's not going to be any questions about how it's handled. But yes, there may be a question of whether or not this is going to take place before the election. There is also an opportunity for him to launch another trial up in New Jersey, because there were crimes committed in classified documents up in New Jersey. Some of the evidence actually took place in New Jersey. There's that casket with a supposed cremated ex-wife that took 10, 11 full-grown men to carry off the first hole in his golf course that I'm sure is filled with some pretty interesting stuff. So there's a lot more to go here. And there are other cases that are coming out as well. Not sure how many are going to land before the election, but this one in particular, Jack Smith has Eileen Cannon backed into a corner. She would essentially have to rule against herself to give Donald Trump what he's now trying to demand. So this is good for the eyes of justice. This is good for the overall big picture. But it is something that, it's how he plays his game. So stay tuned. Be diligent, stay educated, be kind. We are all in this together. The evidence in these cases are rock solid. The prosecutor has a 97% conviction rate for indictments, which, granted, it's a federal case. That is Donald Trump's second place safety net, is that a Republican will end up in office and pardon him. But that's not going to happen either, because we have Taylor Swift. So we are just fine. Shake it off, Donnie. God bless.